Three, two, one. Boom. And we're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Crawfords House Podcast. I'm your host, Crawfinator, and thank you for tuning in and joining me in my house. Usually I'm going to have a guest for my podcast here. I'm going to usually try to have one to two, maybe even three people, sometimes bands, sometimes, just people that's are doing things for themselves, trying to make it, trying to promote themselves, anything of that nature. But today we're just going to start it off with a me episode. This is the lead episode of a podcast, so usually it should be a good one. I'm always going to incorporate this video element. If you're ever tuning into the Crawfords House Podcast, there will always be a video element. You can check that out on our Facebook page at just Facebook Crawfinator. I legally didn't get the Crawfinator spelled right, so I actually spelled Crawfinator with a 4. So CR4, Finator at the end of it. It's bad at spelling when I'm put on the spot like this. But thank you again for tuning into the podcast. So tonight we are just going to do a quick little, about 5 to 10 minute episode where we're just going to talk about the things that are upcoming in the future months here. I have a lot of big plans for things that are going to be happening here in the future with guests and discussions that we're going to have. My next guest, I already have the first guest booked, is Dylan Torado. He is one of the friendliest guys you'll ever meet. He works at New Beginnings in Chatham, which is a stroke and ABI recovery facility for individuals that live in the Chatham and surrounding area to go in free of charge. If they've had a stroke or if they've had any kind of physical altering injury. If you know me, I had a very severe accident. It was about I'll say 5 years ago in like 3 months. Actually, it would be about 6 months at this point, I should say. So about 5.5 years ago. If you're curious on the details of that story, I will leave a Vimeo link in the description of the video and in the actually audio cast here because it's a great 10-minute movie. One of my dearest friends, Spencer Cartier, and a team from the advanced filmmaking program at Fanshawe College, they got together and they made this movie. I shouldn't even say it's a movie. It's a short doc. It just features some interviews with me, most importantly my parents, and then one of the other victims in the crash. It's a really emotional video. I've seen hundreds of people view it, and I've seen hundreds of people cry. I've seen hundreds of people laugh. It's an emotional roller coaster in the end that just makes you, just really just appreciate. I like to think just appreciate being alive. But if I'll leave the link. I've talked too much about it, obviously, but I'll leave the link in the description below. You can click the link. You can check it out for yourself. If you want just a quick recap of the story, I was in a bad car accident about 5 years ago. Like I said 5.5 years ago. I was ejected of the vehicle. I ended up flatlining about 8 times between scene and hospital. Lost about 86 units of blood. Broken femur, broken pelvis. A whole bunch of messed up vertebrae and things in my back. And the way I put it, I actually had a broken brain as well. Nobody really thought I was going to live, and here I am 5.5 years later, surpassing every expectation that anybody had, 5 years ago when I had zero body weight, zero body muscle, and, really didn't know what the future was going to hold for me. So check that out. It's going to be a phenomenal episode. Every time I run into Dylan or every time I just go see Dylan, the conversation just flows. It's so well. It just happens so naturally, and it's all positive energy. Because Dylan is one of the most happy, friendliest guys you will ever meet, and I honestly I'm proud to call him one of my friends. When we're looking later on into the season, I call it a season, now because this is a podcast. I guess it's not really a month to month, week to week kind of thing. I will hopefully get one in maybe once every 1 to 2 weeks here. If not once every month. But when we look forward to the future here, one of the big things that we can also look forward to is having some local bands come in. I want to say that I will get them to maybe do an acoustic performance or just maybe a live performance, but I can't make that guarantee because I don't have the space. As you can see, if you're watching the video element, Crawford's House is it's a single unit apartment. It's not very big. It doesn't have the band space here, but we can make it work. if we can just do acoustic performance or something. Um, Another big guest that we're going to be having coming on in the future is some people, that are just entrepreneurs, just looking to get themselves out there. I'm hoping to secure some guests where, aspiring artists or I've already, mentioned the musicians, but another big thing I like to think about, or I like to, consider when we look at the modern day arts culture is, just actually like painting and drawing and things like that. There's a lot of talented people out there that paint and that draw, and I know a few that I would love to have on just to talk about that passion that they have, because we all know that if you have a passion and you enjoy doing it, you're gonna flourish. You're gonna go as far as the moon can take you there because if you follow something you love, it's guaranteed to be good. Um, Another huge one, and I mean another huge guest that I am super happy to have confirmed with me already. I need to discuss some dates with him, maybe get him up here, if not go down to him. Is Captain Cannabeard, Mr. Jeffrey Allen. Yes, he is a massive, massive marijuana advocate. I've known the guy for over 10 years, and I'm very happy to know him because he does stand for he stood up for medical marijuana for so long, and now that society's kind of catching up to a message Jeff's been preaching forever. I would love to finally have him on and discuss this. I look forward to having him on and discussing this. Give me a minute. Let's discuss these things together when he's in, because I would love to know his opinion on things that are happening in the industry now, the things that that took to get us here, and if he really agrees if it's a good thing or a bad thing. And right, those are just those are the ones I'm really excited about off the top of my head. So hopefully those will all be within the top five. I'll have. I'll have Dylan on next. I promised him my first guest slot because he's been one of the people that I've been most excited about having on. If I can get lucky, Jeff will be second, and then I'll just get everybody queued up and lined up, and as quickly as I can get them done and interviewed. Sorry about that. So yes, so as I was saying, we're going to be doing them as quickly as I can. Obviously, with accompanying with the scheduling and getting the guest in and appropriate timing and all that matter. So right off the bat, I guess well, you don't know because I don't really know. This is just the first episode. Just really wanted to get this up there, finally put that out there, and to finally accomplish what I've been trying to accomplish for so long. Sorry, I'm hearing a lot of things from upstairs and downstairs. It feels like someone's coming to my door. I got the camera element here. If you're watching the video, I should looking behind me, but I'm actually not even looking at the camera that much. But yeah, so thank you for tuning in. I just don't really have much more to say. If you like the podcast, or if you look forward to the future, please give it a like, share it with anybody you know. Let's try and create a following here, and I will get this out on the platforms. Hopefully, within the next 24 hours here, and we will get that first episode filmed and recorded up to you. Hopefully by February 14th. If you are in the in the radio area, be on the lookout. We have was just how to properly say this, because I was brought in on it from three beautiful people. Two of the gentlemen run SounDrive Records out of Brampton, and the third is my dear friend Carter Niffin, who is again just one of my favorite human beings. The three of them combined are geniuses, and they have asked to bring me on to a radio station, radio show, I should say, where we're gonna do kind of. It's more of a bring bands in, entrepreneurs, anyone in the Toronto business area, GTA area, where we can, expose them to the world and really give them, the opportunity to share their music or share their opinion or ideas. And I really look forward to that. So we're going to be starting that up in the near future here. So if you are interested in tuning into that, check out I'll have all the details on the next podcast. And until then, I guess just stay beautiful. Thank you for listening. And if you tuned in, thank you for tuning in to Crawfords House Podcast. I'm your host, Crawfinator, Andrew Crawford, and I thank you. Bye-bye.